Hey, thanks for your interest in Bigfoot Born to be Wild. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're asking to play one of the roles in the Bigfoot Born to be Wild comedy series. So grab you a cold beverage, grab you a comfy pillow, kick back, and listen to the whole thing. For you to really understand your character, you might need to understand the show, so to speak. So I want you to enjoy and watch the whole thing, and be sure to notice, especially with the character you're planning on playing, his interactions with other characters, and think about what type of character would actually conduct themselves in that way, or do those types of things. So basically I'm saying get to know the character that you're wanting to play. The type of filming or style that we're using is a loose type of production. We don't script every word. We give you an objective or something as simple as plans and intentions or even motives that guide your character. Learn the characters, see what their plans are that's in the notes that you'll be listening to. Just think about who that person would be that would be wanting to do these things. Point is, learn your character, think about who they would be to conduct themselves in the way that they do, and their mindset for why they're actually there. So take that all into consideration. We want you to develop the character yourself. We don't want you to come in here and read a script word for word and have to play it out just perfect. We're going to tell you who you are as this character, and then we want you to make it your own. Become the character. So no matter what you find yourself doing, whatever the situation may be, your character will speak. Your character will react. Your character will be real. Note, this makeshift storyboard was put together to help with a little bit of organization and to cut down the times that parts would need to be explained to different people interested in playing the roles, and generally to give people an idea of who their character actually is. Bigfoot Born to be Wild is a totally original series created by myself and some people close to my family. I hope you enjoy it, but please make note that the video clips that you see that are actually filmed in here are secondary shots that weren't really good enough to make the show, but plenty fine to use to kind of keep the storyline going in this storyboard. So the actual footage that you'll be seeing when the episode actually airs will be slightly different, or could be a completely different shot than the scene that you're seeing in some of these parts. But the storyline with these parts that are being played in is consistent. So the storyline is correct. We just have better takes that we're saving for the final episode. Please excuse any typos and any what may look like poor editing. This is not to be seen by the public. This is only for actors and actresses applying to play some of the roles, and of course to keep our camera guys and everybody in check with knowing when they need to be there, that kind of thing. No, there's a lot more to the script than what you see here. This is just a storyboard to give a basic idea of the characters and the scenes that's going to be shot. Also note, sometimes when describing a scene, you'll hear me repeat myself when coming back to a scene. These notes that are this what sounds like to be narration is just audio from my audio log. I do most of my notes and idea transcript onto audio recordings. It's just simpler and faster. And for the purpose of this storyboard, describing the characters, describing the scenes, I'm just using my audio notes. Most of these notes that you're hearing, most of this audio that you're hearing is from when a lot of these ideas originally were created or came to mind. I hope you enjoy. Again, note when leaving a scene, cutting to a different character role or a different shot with other characters, and coming back to a scene that was continuing from earlier, you'll notice that sometimes my audio recording will just start over for that part when describing the scene or what have you. In other words, group A and B were going uphill when they seen a bunch of trees. We go on to different characters, different scene, different part of the show. When we come back to these characters doing whatever they're doing at the top of the hill now, you might hear me repeat, group A and B going up the hill, That way I kind of set the scene again. A lot of times it's just an audio recording where concept and ideas being thrown together is just being replayed to kind of set the scene back into our minds. I hope you enjoy. Excuse any typos or errors. Remember, these are just my audio notes, and I'm not actually physically or verbally narrating these things. I'm just taking you through my audio ideas and recordings, and adding pictures and that what have you, so that you get an idea of how the storyline goes. Have a great day and God bless.
That was kind of funny. Now that could be left in the movie because that is fucking funny.
Well, I'm invited because of the footage they found on YouTube, where I say we found an actual Bigfoot with the kids, where it was in the background with me and the kids. She'll start off with, before even the show intro credits, we'll just start with that. Hey, welcome back. We want to thank Bigfoot Hunter here. He's going to come out next, and you're going to be really amazed at what he had caught on camera. Now, we found him on YouTube, but he's been Bigfoot hunting for a long time now, just under 20 years. And so we're going to have him out here in just a minute. He's going to show some amazing footage that he caught live, and we think this is the best footage we've seen to date of a real Bigfoot. And then she'll introduce me, and I'll come out. And we'll go ahead and we'll talk about the footage we got with the kids. And, I'll kind of narrate it a little bit. The sound quality on that footage is not so great. So what we'll do is we'll have it played on the background of like on a big screen above our heads, where we're sitting on the couch where she's doing an interview or whatever. And so that'll kind of explain the poor sound quality, because the important part is the part where we get up to the Bigfoot footage when it comes in, and we'll zoom in on that part where I do the zoom in and extra examination of the footage. Of course, the sound quality there is a lot better because I did it in the studio. So we'll let the interview with the kids play, but it'll be on the big screen. So basically, everybody will be hearing it secondhand. So they'll be hearing it the same way as the audience hears it. So basically, a microphone will be picking up the footage that's playing. That'll help explain why the sound quality is not that good. And all the extra noise we could put a little bit of crowd sound in there, going ooh ah, whatever, from the crowd from the national TV show audience. As soon as that's over, as soon as I'm done explaining the close-ups and all that, of narrating the close-up of Bigfoot footage, and she'll be like, yeah, that's really amazing, and oh, you can see where the dog bit him, she'll say, and this and that, and we'll maybe poke a little joke or something at it looks like a heart-shaped tattoo might be tapped on his ass, or tattooed on his ass. They must have do that when they're really young. Maybe Bigfoot's mama put that on his ass before he got hairy or something. But then after that, she's going to ask me a couple questions. How come sometimes you wear that shirt without a shirt underneath? And actually, that'll be a good question. She goes, it doesn't look like you're wearing anything on your camera there. Well, I got the call, and we were relaxing that day. We weren't actually filming. I was out fishing, and it was kind of hot, so I wasn't wearing a shirt. And when we got the call, I didn't think too much of it. We didn't take no microphones or anything. We just kind of drove over there and filmed it. So I hadn't put anything on underneath because I didn't really think it was going to be that big of a deal. So we were really caught with our pants down, so to speak, or at least shirts off. Anyways, maybe she'll poke some fun at me or something.
Hi guys, we're out here with these kids. Their parents gave us a call and told us that they think they might have had a Bigfoot sighting. So since we're in the area not too far away, we thought we'd come to investigate. Now we have a new kid with us for the summer, a young guy who won a contest at his high school. And so since these guys are kids, we're going to let him do the interview. Now we had talked to their parents. We asked their parents if they wanted to be in the interview, and they said no, that was okay, but they did give us the okay to go ahead and interview the kids. So no dogs were hurt in this interview. Christopher, come on in.
It's Christopher.
Okay, Christopher. Whatever. Now, you guys remember to speak up a little loud.
Alright, so my name is Christopher, and we'll be doing an interview today with these kids. Alright, so what's your name?
Hannah.
What's her name?
Riley.
Riley? What's the dog's name?
Tiger.
Alright, nice to meet you, dog. Alright, so can you tell me what happened here? What happened in your backyard?
Well, we went outside with my dog. We just started playing. My dog went barking at some big hairy guy.
Big hairy guy? Anything else?
And when he came back from chasing that big dude, this was one, he had a big, giant, big piece of hair in his mouth.
Big, like a hairball? Like,
You say he had a big mouthful of hair? Well, what happened to the hair?
it's nasty.
What happened to the hair? You got the hair?
No, he went back into the woods and went spit it out. I think he went chasing him again, but I don't think he did anything.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead with the interview.
Can you tell me how big he was? Was he like 7, 8, 9 feet tall?
I don't know. He was big!
He was big? Alright, can you describe the Bigfoot for me? Really big. Like how fat? Can you tell me like how did your dog respond after you came back?
Well, he was like kind of freaking out a little bit.
Did you hear the Bigfoot? Was his voice as scrumptious as mine?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
We didn't really hear him.
Okay. Well, I think. What did he sound like? Okay, so. Alright, I think we'll end the interview now. Christopher signing off.
All right, great job, kids. Thanks a lot. Now, I told your parents I'd buy y'all some ice cream. Y'all want some ice cream?
Yeah!
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
We're the Bigfoot boys. Signing out. Peace.
Now you have to see what we caught in the background here. Our cameraman had stepped away for a few minutes while we were finishing the interview, and lo and behold, after we walked away, you have to see this to believe it. I'll let the footage speak for itself.
Come on, girl.
Yep, it seems we were just feet away from a Bigfoot during the whole interview. Bigfoot tattoo, that's when she starts thinking, oh, this can't be real. That can't be a real Bigfoot with a big I love mom tattoo on his ass. That's just ridiculous. So at that point, they start poking fun at me a little bit, and they really get hard and heavy poking fun at me when they do the reenactment sequence. And so the interview will start off real serious, like, oh, they're so happy to have me and so impressed with the footage. But then when I show the more detailed close-ups of the heart tattoo and shit, when we get to that part, because they won't have seen that video, they'll have seen the one that's on YouTube, which everybody else has seen, doesn't show the heart tattoo all that close up. So when we start doing the CSI, zoom in and all that, when we show the heart tattoo, that's when they start thinking, oh, this is some bullshit. The national TV show itself, like the producers tell her on her microphone, the national TV show will at that point instruct her to start poking fun at me because now they think it's bullshit. And so that's why the reenactment goes kind of hairy. So we got to show a transition from being real serious to them just thinking it's a giant joke, haha, and making fun of me. And the whole time I still think it's very good. I don't know why the Bigfoot's got a tattoo, but goddamn, he's got a tattoo on his ass. What can I didn't know Bigfoot when he was a baby. I don't know how or when he got that tattoo. All I know is where the dog bit him just happened to be a tattoo that I love mama on there. We show the footage, and when she goes, we'll be right back after these messages. We'll do the actual show intro with all the credits and everything. Come back to her, she'll go, what do you mean Matt Damon and Jimmy Kimmel are kissing in the green room? And
What do you mean poke fun of him? You don't think my mic is still on?
That's what she'll say. What are we going to do for guests? And they'll say, well, like, get the Bigfoot hunter back. But, you know, that's some bullshit Bigfoot, so start poking fun at him. Have fun with his ass.
Okay, and from that point on, she'll start asking me, well, why does Bigfoot have a tattoo of I love mom on his ass? And she'll start drilling me on that, and then eventually it'll get to be, why did you become a Bigfoot hunter? And then we'll do the reenactment scene, and when I do the Bigfoot memory thing, then they actually poke fun of me with the footage of the two gay-looking cops or whatever, and from there, you know, she'll close out the show, and then...
When I was about 13 years old, you know, 12 or 13, I can't remember. I remember it was an Easter Sunday, though. Because I had some friends over, and I had some my little cousins there. My mom got a little drunk, so she was in the shower, and she had been in there for quite a while. And so it was just us kids there. My friend was filming, but, you know, he wasn't a very good cameraman. And his broken camera wouldn't record any sound. Anyways, I had seen something outside, and I was like, look, I'm serious, look, just look out there, you know. And he didn't believe me, so I'm like, well, come over, bring the camera, come check this out. I think it's a UFO or something, man. There's lights out there. And so we run over to the window, and sure enough, there was some lights, but it was really too dark to see. But I seen something big and hairy, and it couldn't have been a bear because there's no bears out in this area. Something strange was up. So anyways, after seeing something so big out there, me and my friend both were too scared to go outside. We were only able to get like a couple seconds of footage when we heard something about the trash can. So with that being all the footage, I'll have to verbally describe the rest of it. Oh, you guys are going to do a reenactment? Cool. All right. How do y'all do that on the fly? Okay, well, let's check it out. Okay, so here's how it all went down with the sheer terror outside. There was there wasn't a bunch of people there, and it wasn't daylight. It was dark, and there was something big and scary in the yard. I guess it was, you know, trying to figure out a way to get in through a window or something. It couldn't have been a burglar because we live way out in the country. So, let me just go ahead and show you the footage we got now because it'll help you have a better understanding of how scared we were as kids, and maybe it'll help your people put a better reenactment together. Here's the few seconds of footage we got. So your reenactment should show something like this, running around our yard, looking in the windows. Okay, so this footage was really dark and shaky, and we went ahead and had it slow mode and stretched out in night vision to make it a little bit easier to see. We increased its visibility as much as we could without blurring it, at least not too much. Okay, so now you see kind of what it looks like. Of course, it moves a lot faster than that. So let's see that reenactment and see what you got. Not bad. That's actually pretty good. I don't think I could have done it better myself. So, anyways, I think it must have heard me when I locked the door. Because when I went to the window over nearest the bathroom, I saw some lights again. And then that's when I got my best view of him as he darted back off into the woods. I wasn't able to sleep all night. I sat in the window and watched out there and was checking all the windows actually all night long. My friend stayed up pretty much the whole night too, but he did fall asleep just before daylight. Anyways, I was sitting outside waiting for the sheriff to come. I had called him the night before, and they said that we were too far out into the country that they couldn't come that night. They asked if the creature or the man was still in the yard, and I said no, and they said, well, then we'll come by tomorrow. So here they are first thing in the morning, and I was surprised because these two really hot cops showed up. No. I said hot cops. What is this? Some kind of joke? Are those even cops? I'm talking about women. You know, beautiful women police officers. Well, at least that's more like it. But no, they weren't Hollywood supermodels neither. They were country girls in military fatigues. You know, we're talking out deep West Texas. Haha. I guess everybody thinks this is funny. I'm trying to tell a story here. At least they're women, I guess. No, it was just two of them. Okay, and then their boss, the sheriff, I guess, or whatever. But no. That's enough of the stock footage and reenactments. We do have some more footage from the next day. I just didn't have any more of the Bigfoot that night. So there I was, you know, sitting on the porch waiting for them when they finally showed up. And for some reason, you know, I told them it was a big dude or something that, you know, he just looked like he was wearing a big fur coat or something. 'Cause I knew they wouldn't believe some kind of creature out there. You know, I'd heard of Bigfoot, and I knew that everybody thought it was a giant joke, but I didn't know what else to do. So I just told them it was a big guy wearing a fur coat or carrying some animal skins or something. You know, maybe an old mountain man still living out there that nobody knows about. Remember, I was only 13, but I didn't think there was really a Bigfoot, and so, you know, I tried to explain it to myself a whole bunch of different ways. But as it turns out, they actually found a giant single footprint, and they said they found some pictures and stuff too, and that's where it kind of gets strange. There was an old Polaroid laying on the ground. And, you know, I'm thinking, well, who could be out here using a Polaroid, and why would they be taking pictures of my house? You know, didn't make any sense. That's when I couldn't believe my ears. The sheriff actually said, I think we actually have a real Bigfoot. And, you know, he comes walking over towards me, and he goes, for some reason, Bigfoot's out here, and looks like we got, you know, some pictures of it. Looks like maybe he took a selfie or something, you know. I guess the Polaroid's pretty simple to use, but I think we got a picture of the beast here. Unbelievable. They look almost human. Hey, that's my mama, I said. That's when the sheriff started laughing really hard and pops off with, damn, boy, your mama's so hairy, Bigfoot been taking pictures of her. Introduction to a new security member of the Big Game Hunter in Disguise, and we announced that we're on a nature preserve when Ty, the security guy, introduces me to the new hire, and I asked Ty, the security guy, have you already told him about the rules out here that we have to follow in order to stay out here, that we can't walk around with loaded guns, you know, at the ready, pointed. We can have them loaded, but they have to be shoulder hosted on, you know, on the strap or what have you, and carried on our backs. and only to ever put them in a defensive or offensive posture when and if we're being attacked. Because of a lot of poachers or what have you in the area, anybody walking around with a gun in hand pointing like they're ready to shoot something is immediately reported with the camera traps that the park rangers have put up because of a lot of poaching and a lot of elk turning up missing. But there's camera traps that they're hooked up via Wi-Fi or internet connection that immediately send the picture of anyone that walks by them to the park rangers. And if anyone has their picture taken with a gun in their hand, you know, like if they're doing some kind of hunting, are automatically fined and removed from the preserve, no questions asked. So anyways, the bottom line rules for the famous Jack the Bigfoot hunter to be out there as a naturalist and who loves animals and is well known for handling other types of animals in the past. His reputation allows him in certain places. Well, they allow him on the nature reserve. They say, Jack, you know, we like you, and we've been a fan a long time, but we don't know all your crew, and we just gotta let you know, to be out here, it's a crime to actually even point your gun walking around. Except for in the measure of self-defense, as if you were in a city and you know you had to pull your gun because of immediate threat of life or death. So you can't casually walk around with your gun pointed. So without explaining all that myself, I just asked Ty, the security guy, well, make sure he knows all the rules about, you know, not having the gun loaded, or if it is loaded, it has to be holstered or packed into the backpack, where it takes at least a couple seconds to get to, for us to stay out there without violating the agreement for our being there on the nature preserve. To the scene where I'm talking to Pedro, and Pedro's telling me about, yeah, they kind of make you look like they're like a fool there at the end, and I say, yeah, I understand. That's why I think I stick to doing my own little shows, and where I'm more in control of the camera. After that, I walk by, Parker's setting up and getting ready to film me to do one of our own Bigfoot episodes. And when I go in front of the camera, I show an old VHS tape, and I say, I found this footage yesterday, and I start reviewing it, and it looks like there's some interesting stuff on here. And since today is the actual 17th anniversary, I figure I'd finish reviewing it live with you, the audience. I have my computer out there reviewing the footage with the audience watching, and after we come back to editing, I'll cover the computer up with a better picture and be able to zoom in as we're reviewing it and everything. But for the talking part and all that, I'm going to review it live on the computer right there. That way I can do it as real as possible. And when we go to full screen, I'll still be talking, doing the narration and all that with the camera first, and just looking at the computer, and that way I can know where it's at, and I can sync that footage later with the zoomed in. So we show me talking to phone. I walk over in front of the camera where we're set up to do one of our Bigfoot episodes. And again, I say this is the 17th anniversary, so I want to go ahead and finish reviewing this footage live with you guys. We get all the way to the part where it shows Bigfoot chasing Pedro off. And everybody, I'm Jack, and this here's my buddy Pedro, and we're Bigfoot hunters. We've been out here for the last 2 weeks hunting Bigfoot. And I know what you're thinking, you're trying to get us the big one, but now that's not actually what we're trying to do. We're actually just trying to get some real good stone cold footage of the actual Bigfoot to prove that he really exists. Right, Pedro? Yeah, he's pretty upset, man, because we've been out here for the last 2 weeks and we have not been successful. But we have to
something went on in the background. No, Pedro ran the other way, man. A bear went after him or something. Hey, he went this way. Come on. No, man, we have to find Pedro, man. Something went after him. I think a bear's chasing him. Come on. He ain't got his gun or nothing. Pedro, where you at, man? Part where it shows Bigfoot chasing Pedro off, and this will be footage that I've seen for the very first time with my eyes, along with the audience. And I'll be like, oh wow, I don't even remember that, you know. And that's when we'll see the flash, and we'll have me run away from the camera, and I'll be like, Pedro, whoever's there on the scene with me that day, I'll say, come on, bring the crap. And that's when we'll cut into the. There needs to be a scene, you know, showing the relationship of Jack Diamond and Ty, the security guy, growing. You know, maybe Ty, the security guy, slips after trying to step over a law by stepping on a down tree. Maybe falls on the, you know, slips and falls on the other side, and there's some snakes or something. The new Jack Diamond guy comes up and. Without even shooting him or anything, just grabs him by the tail and tosses him, and leaving Ty with the feeling that he just saved his life, even though maybe it's just a brown tree stake or something. Because Ty's security guy is a security guy and a blogger. He's not an outdoorsman at all. But anyways, as they buddy up, you know, Steve Diamond starts to fill out Ty's security guy. I kind of see where his idea of morals or ethics go are where they're kind of based on how he feels about the whole Bigfoot thing. Well, of course, Ty, the security guy, he's out there just doing his job. He don't even think there's a Bigfoot. He thinks we might be a little bit loco, following, you know, knocks and pings and howls in the night. But so Steve Diamond kind of just goes along with that. Yeah, I don't think it's Bigfoot either, kind of bullshit. You know, he's trying to keep his cover. But little by little, he keeps filling out Ty, and Ty says, well, hell, you know, I don't give a shit what happens with him. As long as we get him and I can get my job back in the city, I'm good. But I can't leave this job. The boss told me if I got in trouble with another client or had another dissatisfied client, that he's gonna can my ass. So I don't plan on leaving here until the whole crew's ready to go. That's when Steve Diamond says, well, listen, without admitting who he is or anything, he just says, you know, I'm a little worried about you know, that Bigfoot. He's a big motherfucker. If he's like I heard he was, and so, you know, I'm a little bit scared to be having my gun packed away and taking me 2 or 3 seconds to get to it. You know, so I'm gonna have my gun in my bag, but I'm gonna have it to where I can shoot right through the bag or what have you, in the event of danger. And so I'm stretching this out longer than it actually needs to be, but Tyler says, so you just gonna go ahead and shoot the Bigfoot then? Steve Diamond's like, man, of a 900-pound man, woman, or even something in between come at me at 900 pounds, to me that's an instant concern for my life, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to defend it. I'm not going to wait till after I find out if he's just going to push me down or what's going to happen to decide to protect myself. So little by little, Steve Diamond starts to project himself as more of an aggressive type, ready to shoot kind of person. And so maybe after the favors return, this might be writing a little too much, but maybe after the favors return, when Tech catches Steve Diamond from falling into maybe an old Indian trap or something, you know,
dug about 3 feet, stakes or tree branches sharpened and sticking out of the ground. You know, the big game hunter coming there just for the purpose of trying to bag a Bigfoot. Maybe he hasn't been able to hunt out there before because, well, naturally it's a nature reserve and he should just ain't the fuck allowed to. So anyways, after the third return, you know, Ty starts to confess a little bit more and more about how, you know, he does kind of believe in Bigfoot and he thinks it'd be cooler than hell to just bag one. And was telling Ty about how good of a blog post would that make. Today's Tuesday, and my fellow security team member shot Bigfoot. Man, you get millions of hits on that. So Ty, being, you know, a computer guy and what have you, is starts thinking about that shit himself. Starts thinking, you know, man, what if we did shoot a Bigfoot? Because, you know, while Jack the Hunter and the other team was out there to catch a Bigfoot, their 90% portion of intention is to get really good footage with the hopes of being lucky enough to catch them if they can without any kind of injury. But they're satisfied with just getting good footage. So basically, even if Bigfoot walked up to Ty, the security guy, slapped him in the face, and then walked off, you know, he could tell everybody, but no one ever believed him. So he starts thinking, yeah, we gotta shoot one. What have you. So anyways, at some point they team up, you know. Now Jack Diamond's more the professional, and, you know, being a big game hunter is a giant no-no for him to be on that nature reserve. So while, you know, confiding in Ty and discussing with Ty, you know, shooting a Bigfoot, he never, you know, fully announces that he's one of the world's most famous big game hunters. So that's Steve's background story for Steve Diamond. I think we should stick with his name, Steve, Diamond, because Diamond Pawn Shop, but it's going to be his pseudonym. We'll give him some French sounding name or something to be his real name that he's not ever using because he's there undercover or under disguise. So anyways, those are those two things. And so when Jack comes from the future, from the past, comes in the future, you know, after holding a gun on Ty, and then old Jack coming back and putting a gun on Jack, on himself from 17 years in the past, in the past, decides to go ahead and click respond to the like request, huh?
PEDRO.
Who the fuck are you?
It's me, Jack, man. Man,
Dude.
what the hell happened to you,
I
dude?
don't know who the fuck are you, man.
How'd you get so old?
Hey, what are you doing here? Hey, who the fuck are you? Who the
Who
fuck
the
are
fuck
you?
are you?
I'm Jack, man. It's my camp. What are you doing here?
Man, I'm Jack. This is my camp.
What the fuck are you talking about? This is my camp.
Nah, man. This shit right here is my camp.
Listen, I've been with Pedro 20 years, man. I don't know what you're doing here, but this is my camp. 2 hours later.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? Jack, man. This is my camp.
This is my camp. My camp.
Nah, man. This is mine.
You see that tent? That's my tent. I sleep in that tent.
No, that's my tent.
How the fuck can that be your chance? I've been here fucking 2 years.
I've been here plenty longer than you, son.
Who are you, man?
I'm Jack.
Can't be Jack. I'm Jack.
Well, this shit's crazy, man. How the hell can you be Jack and if I'm Jack?
Why the fuck you look so much like me, man?
Why the hell do you look like an older version
Pedro!
of me?
Pedro, you got your gun? Pedro! 2 more hours later. My camp, man.
Nah, this is my camp, man.
I don't know who you are. You look a lot like me, but this is weird shit, man.
Put the gun down.
This is my camp.
No need for anybody else to get hurt.
Santiago got it?
All right, y'all got me, man.
Down.
Y'all got me.
Pedro!
Yeah, what's up?
Who's this guy you talking to?
I think that's you, Jack. That's you, Jack.
What the fuck you mean that's me?
I don't know, man.
It is me, man. It's me.
You, Jack. I know you. He said you.
How the hell can there be 2 Jacks? I'm Jack.
Fucking move, man.
All right,
Nobody
man.
else needs to get hurt. And if you fucking move, I guarantee you, you're gonna fucking die. Let's fucking do what we
Look,
need to
man,
do.
I'm Jack.
Put the fucking gun down. I'm telling you right now, put the fucking gun down slowly. I will shoot you a new
Look,
asshole. I
dude.
guarantee you that.
Look, I'm fucking Jack, man. I'm fucking telling you, I'm Jack, okay?
Jack is old. How the fuck can you be Jack, man?
Because, man, I fucking jumped on Bigfoot's back and all of a sudden I ended up here, man.
You're telling me you see Bigfoot?
Yes.
When did you see Bigfoot? I've been looking for that
Man, I
motherfucker
jumped
for
out
a
of
minute.
a fucking tree and landed on his back. And all of a sudden I seen a flash and then boom.
Yeah, that shit sounds fucking bad. I don't know, man. I don't
All of a
know.
sudden I'm fucking here. I don't know what happened, dude. I just
You
ended
look
up
like
here.
him, but you ain't him, man.
I'm
You must be his
fucking Jack,
son.
dude. I'm Jack. I'm 25 years old. I've been out here hunting Bigfoot for the last 7 years, dude.
So, okay, what school did you go to?
I went to fucking Milby.
Okay, a lot of people can find that out through Facebook, man. But you know what? I think maybe.
At some point, they decide to go ahead and tee up, and they're going to try to either deep hole trap Bigfoot or, cut him off at the pass kind of thing, bushwhacking him with a clean shot that will immobilize them, maybe through the hip or something, where they don't want to kill him. That's what, Ty's suggesting, because, like, man, if the guy's actually part man or half-breed man or something, you can go to jail. So Ty's concerned with that, keeps suggesting, basically immobilizing Bigfoot with a gunshot. Where Steve Diamond has no intention to do anything other than bagging, stuffing, and hanging on his bagging wall that he nailed the Bigfoot. But anyway, so as Ty goes along with them, they start actually doing some mischief together. With Ty not actually realizing how truly dedicated to killing Bigfoot Steve Diamond actually is, because he's being led around like a puppy dog, with one bullshit excuse after another. Basically, Ty's just really busy, always filming, and while he is looking through his lens and using the telescopic lens to film, long distances away from cam and kind of scanning the area, that is how he kind of does his job with the whole scanning thing through the camera. And he films and finds himself looking around all the time because, trying to catch footage or something. And while he's trying to catch the footage, he's able to make sure that somebody else or any kind of wild animal approaches the camp. But to the point I wanted to make, at some point, Ty literally starts helping Jack Diamond to set traps and sprinkle fruit, whatever. But the reason I mention this because they actively start trying to coerce a plan on how to bag that Bigfoot, while Ty cares to do it gently. Of course, we know Steve Diamond has no intention of doing anything nice to Bigfoot. But it's not until Ty was helping him with more fruit and some elk scent or what have you, that he notices Steve Diamond returning with one of the other hunters' backpacks. And he asked him, well, what are you doing with what's the name about? Oh, and he just says, well, you know, I went and collect some fruit, and I needed something to carry, and I couldn't find anything else. But he throws his backpack down and never takes the fruit out. You know, Ty doesn't have any idea what that's about, but when he catches him doing it to a different backpack, or to a sleeping bag or something, you know, make it a different item so that way it's not too consistent with that kind of. But anyway, he finds him putting fruit in another weird place, and then starts thinking about, you know, wait a minute, he went off to dump fruit carrying something else, and if he was coming back from then, he wouldn't have had that backpack with him. So he starts, you know, paying a little more closer attention and realizes that, you know, Steve Diamond is putting all the Bigfoot hunters in danger for some reason. It's like if he's leaving a trail of candy to Hansel and Gretel to follow, Hansel and Gretel being the Bigfoot, follow back to their conniving little seemingly innocent trap. But Ty thinks to himself, damn, you know, if I had a bunch of fruit in my back and a big giant creature that was hungry come up and try to take that from me, he's liable to rip my arms clean off just trying to pull the straps off my, you know, when he pulls the backpack, the straps liable to go right through my arm. It's a big creature, you know. So anyways, at some point Ty finally realizes that Jack Diamond, there's something a little beyond just being a new guy. He seems to be too quaint and familiar to be running around the woods all by himself. He's not worried about getting lost, not leaving, you know, straight to come back. But said, keeps putting fruit and stuff like that in our bed. It's like tying T-bone steaks to you while you take a nap on top of a blanket in the middle of Africa, African plains. You know, you don't invite the monster to your bed, so to speak. But for some reason, Steve Diamond is in fact inviting the monster to each and every one of them's either backpack or their personal bag or their tent. And so, anyways, Ty won't go that far. So this could be, you know, instead of what I mentioned earlier about me wondering what they've been up to, Ty could come to me saying, you know, Jack, the new guy seems to be real good and everything, but he kind of spent a lot of time alone, and I don't think he's, you know, staying near the camp well enough to be able to keep an eye on things around here. And truth be told, Jack, I caught him doing some stuff that I don't think is right. And Jack said, well, what the hell is he? Well, he's packing elk scent and fruit, and our backpacks and our tents and our sleeping bags. Not his own, no. He's not doing it to his own bed or where, you know, he goes to use the bathroom. He's seems to be trying to track an animal or a Bigfoot to where the rest of the hunters are at.
What's wrong, old timer? Doesn't look like you can keep up anymore.
I ain't as young as I used to be. You know what I mean, someday.
Yeah, come on.
We'll see. I lost my hat somewhere.
Hell, man, something smells like shit. You smell that shit?
God damn, what is that? Yeah. That's definitely some Bigfoot shit.
Man, how you gonna even try to hunt a Bigfoot or spot or even film one when you can't even notice yourself stepping in a pile of shit?
Hey, I can ask you the same question. Look at that shit. Someday. Damn, look at that shit. Yeah, so we'll go out there and look again tomorrow. We'll figure it out, man. I think you need to get back to the past, because if not, what happens to us? You know what I mean?
you've been missing for 17 years. How am I here now?
Man, I still can't believe it.
Hey, baby, Mark, you now, camp. Pedro always been that way?
Yeah. All I know is that.
Well, hell, such a relaxing. I ain't never got to jam with myself before. So,
Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't remember ever coming to the future. That guy's gotta be impossible. I don't know how you're here or anything, but we're gonna figure it out in the morning. In the meantime, just relax. Yeah. After arguing all day, I feel like I'm relaxed. So,
cool. I'm gonna let you do all the singing this time. Maybe tomorrow I'll pick up.
how about we just do a little bit of blues? I don't remember how long ago.
Cool. That sounds pretty relaxing.
I've been spending a lot of time out here, you know, hunting Bigfoot. Ever since, I guess, since when you came, I picked up a guitar, I started learning, but, you know, I got bored sitting around campfire all the time by myself. Anyways, I learned this little blues number. I wrote it not too long ago. There's something like this. Come on, feel free to jump in with me when you're ready. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. It's where our Bigfoot used to be. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. It's where Bigfoot used to be. I haven't seen Bigfoot all year, not now or half day. There was a man here that seen the Bigfoot that I've seen. I said, what's the matter here now? See Bigfoot I've never seen. I'm still working on it. Seems like Bigfoot, oh yeah, he's a little bit kind of mean. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. Bigfoot over yonder. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. Way over there. Grab your girl. Just don't be too fucking scared. Go ahead, have fun.
I don't know, man. I don't think I've got as much practice to do, though, man. You're doing really good.
I've been working on a little while.
Yeah.
You get better guitar though. There's a Bigfoot chasing me all up the damn tree. There's a Bigfoot chasing me to ram me up above the tree. I don't know what's wrong with Bigfoot. I don't think he very much likes me. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. He's always chasing me. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. He's always chasing me. And I don't know what's wrong with Bigfoot. I don't think he much likes me.
Now what's the matter? What's the matter? I ain't been working on it that long, but you know, all the time.
Sounds like you had plenty of practice.
I don't know. We try to say, remember that one song? This is one thing I wrote pretty much about 17 years ago. You might remember.
I think I remember that. I don't think I've done that one yet.
I know.
Let me hear it, man. Let me hear it. Light inspired.
You gotta hurt that. Hey, girl, you okay back there?
Oh, yeah, man.
What's all right now?
Everything good, man.
Hey, where's your gun?
It's right here. Hey, you got my gun.
Hey, where's my gun?
You got my
Hey,
gun.
Pedro, you fucking with me? Where's
You
the gun?
took my gun. What did you do with my gun?
Where's my gun, Pedro?
You got my gun.
I didn't get your gun.
I don't have my gun either. You got the gun?
I'm sitting there with you all the time.
Who got the gun?
You gotta be kidding me.
Man,
Boy,
I was
Bigfoot gonna
just
start
right-
again.
I was wide awake, man, and then he took my gun.
I didn't take your gun. I've been
Who
sitting
got
right
my
here.
gun?
How are you wide awake? Somebody take your gun.
You tell me that. You tell me that.
Look, little Jack was sitting here the whole time.
But I was right awake, and somebody, I don't know what happened to it. You took my gun. You got the gun?
Way over time. She digs on me. She digs on me. She digs on me.
There's a red house over yonder where my baby used to stay. There's a red house over yonder where my baby used to stay.
Yeah, you got that.
Haven't seen my baby all yet, and I won't have to.
Man, that song brings back so many memories.
Well, you know what? I guess over the last 17 years I've been doing a little more practicing, you know. Been out here,
Yeah, it sounds so good,
all this
man.
time we spent out here
I didn't.
hunting for Bigfoot.
I don't never remember sounding that good.
All this time out here spent for Bigfoot, you know, I spent a lot of nights alone for a campfire, so I've been getting a little practice in. About 17 years or so, I guess.
Yeah.
since
You know,
I was you, I guess.
You done got it perfected now, man.
That's all right. Let's do it. You get better guitar though. There's a Bigfoot chasing me all up the damn tree. There's a Bigfoot chasing me to ram me up above the tree. I don't know what's wrong with Bigfoot. I don't think he very much likes me. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. He's always chasing me. There's a Bigfoot over yonder. He's always chasing me. And I don't know what's wrong with Bigfoot. I don't think he much likes the woods. The woods are matter. What's the matter? I ain't been working on it that long, but you know, all the time.
Sounds like you have plenty of practice.
I don't know. We'll try something. Remember that one?
You got Todd security guy who was once teamed up with Jack Diamond, who is now trying to wrap up the problem with Jack Diamond and getting rid of Jack Diamond, finally trying to get enough on him to fire him without having to tell anybody about what he finally got footage of, which was Jack Diamond doing something to lure the Bigfoot in that was dead ass honest with throwing fresh fruit and skunk scent inside of one of the crew's tent. I mean, this is, you know, there would be no imaginable reason why someone would throw fruit and elk piss into one of their fellow campers or team members or crew members' tent. There has to be evil intent when something like that occurs. So when he gets footage of that, it gets footage of Jack Diamond not going too far from where the tent's at, bushing up into a little blind that made out of stuff he gathered himself around there. I mean, remember, he's a professional big game hunter. But when Ty catches the whole tent incident with throwing fruit in it, he sees Jack go into the, Steve Diamond go into the woods, cock his gun, load it, and prop it, as if he's expecting Bigfoot to come right down the trail or something. Knowing that, you know, after he explained in full detail, don't ever load your gun. You know, if you're carrying it in your hands, and if it is loaded for your protection, it needs to be on your back and not in any kind of means or being handled in any means that where it can allow for quick off round fire or that kind of thing. So knowing that he just fully well explained those rules and reiterated many times because of the importance of them, he's got that on footage. We need to put something else a little more twisted in there, but that's what he uses to try to get Jack fired. So now, you know, after going back to Jack, Ty, you know, says, man, we gotta let this guy go. You know, he's loading his gun out there. He's pulling pranks on our crew members by throwing piss in the tents. And you know, I don't see that Steve Diamond to be that kind of a funny guy. He doesn't really seem to joke around a lot. So why the hell is he pulling pranks? And so Ty's really just trying to get him fired at this point. Well, lo and behold, Steve Diamond overhears the conversation, comes back and says, listen, I threw fruit in the tent because I had it on me and I thought I heard something in the woods, and I wanted to be prepared, and carrying a big bag of fruit wasn't going to let me get my gun any quicker. I already got to have it stuck on my back. And so Ty asked him, well, why did you go into the blind? He goes, well, something's hunting you, you hide. You think something's coming, you hide, and you do anything and everything you can to prepare yourself to defend oneself. So explaining that to be his reasoning for doing what he'd done and what Ty had caught on the video footage and uploaded to YouTube, now Jack wants Ty fired. So now they went from being good buddies to Ty not thinking he wants to go that far with, you know, trying to lure Bigfoot in and put people in danger, to trying to get Steve Diamond fired, to Steve Diamond having actually pretty good damn explanation for all this crazy shit he just did, that was caught doing, and now says that he Steve Diamond tells Jax, you know, I think that guy Ty is doing something weird. I mean, he's filming all the time, but I think he's trying to catch something a little bit more exciting than just him, you know, showing tricks to how to survive and you know, protect yourself in nature, because you know, I've been finding fruit along these trails. Now, these fruit along these trails, Steve Diamond was right there with them when they dropped them, when they were still in cahoots. Now he's using all that fruit there to be telling on Ty for something. And now he knows Ty can't say, hey, we were working together, because, you know, it would be stupid for a guy to confess to, while, you know, not really doing anything too severe, initially being against the rest of the Bigfoot team with trying to lure Bigfoot in and shooting one. You know, Ty will never admit that. Steve Diamond knows Ty won't admit that. So when Steve Diamond tells Jack about all the fruit he found on the trail, and kind of like just on the trail but just off trail, that way maybe we wouldn't notice, but somebody that can smell good like a Bigfoot will find it and follow him back. So he convinces Jack that Ty's going a little bit crazy with his video thing, and he's wanting to catch some action.
Steve goes on to say, and I'm thinking he's trying to get me fired because I'm finding all his fruit and I'm getting in his way of him getting better footage of a Bigfoot, or maybe he thinks I'm on to him.
So Jack actually ponders this and starts to wonder about Ty himself. So now you got a three-way, not a love triangle, but trying to bust triangle. You got Jack worried about both of them because both of them complain about each other. But while Ty is the more innocent one, though slightly guilty, Jack lands a whole trail of fruit on Ty's head as being the one that dropped all that fruit. Because maybe Steve Diamond says, man, the only one that was even out on this side of the camp all day was Ty. You know, and he was doing his video thing, but every now and then he disappeared, like sitting down and stuff. I don't know what he was doing, but he was the only guy out here on this side of the camp, and I know I didn't do it, so he had to have done it. I don't know what kind of animal he's trying to live with, if it's a Bigfoot or a bear, but Ty's wanting some better YouTube footage. And that makes sense to Jack. You know, he was never real happy with Jack doing his own filming anyways, but as long as it wasn't directly related to Bigfoot, he didn't guess it would really hurt or anything. Well, so now you got suspicion going all around. I got pregnant by Bigfoot. What we're going to do is have like either one of the park rangers be a woman that comes out and visits, you know, Jack the Bigfoot hunter and this and that. You know, maybe they're a little bit friends or what have you. Or it could be, you know, a new park ranger, you know, something along those lines. But that, in, you know, discussing the fact that Jack's looking for Bigfoot, she tells him about how, you know, she's pretty sure she had an encounter with Bigfoot a few months back. We need to film a daylight scene where the two Jacks are investigating where Jack appeared in the future at trying to figure out how the time travel thing occurred.
So then they deduce that it must be Bigfoot himself that's able to time travel. So in order to keep Jack from disappearing from the timeline altogether, they figure out that they got to get young Jack back to the past and decide to set a trap for Bigfoot to kind of hitch a ride.
Hey! Oh, shit!
I've been shot! Santiago, why did you do
Christopher,
that?
you okay?
It's Christopher!
Christopher?
I didn't shoot you.
Santiago shot
I didn't shoot you. The ground shot you. I don't know what you did to the ground. I just seen Bigfoot. Are you fucking kidding me?
While Pedro is out taking a crap in the woods, he overhears Ty ask Steve about bringing the Bigfoot so close to camp, and hears him arguing about this is too dangerous, what have you, and realizes Steve Diamond is blackmailing Ty
after Ty helped him initially plant all the fruit to try to get better footage of a Bigfoot, once Ty realizes that Steve is actually trying to bring a Bigfoot into camp to do more than just film it, Pedro tries to go ahead and help Ty get out of this mess by confronting Steve Diamond, as Pedro knows who Steve Diamond really is. Now he realizes he's a big game hunter. However, when the confrontation happens, Steve Diamond goes on to blackmail Pedro as well, because Steve Diamond's got footage of Pedro and Bigfoot that Pedro put on the black market a long time ago.
She tells him about how, you know, she's pretty sure she had an encounter with Bigfoot a few months back, but, you know, she wasn't really sure because she's a little bit groggy, what have you, taking a nap in her Jeep. She had a dream about her ex-husband that she hadn't been with a long time, and dreamed they was having relations like they used to, or what have you. Only to wake up and find herself with her not wearing her uniform, sleeping in her Jeep. And but when she goes to get dressed back, thinking that she took her clothes off like in a passionate dream, she noticed that some of her clothes got some rips. Not like a lion or a tiger, but just, you know, like a man would do to a top in the heat of a moment, popping some buttons, that kind of thing. Anyway, so she thought that was really unusual, but she wasn't really sure what happened. It'll be a great way to introduce the Bigfoot squeezing him and Pedro by the campfire. Is we'll show Pedro and a Bigfoot laying next to the campfire, camera laid over sideways in the dust, and this footage will be shown to the public when we show Steve Diamond showing Pedro that clip. Yes, I seen this, and I seen all the other stuff too. Steve Diamond tells Pedro, so you better not say nothing about. Yeah, Pedro will remember who Jack Diamond really is. Pedro Francisco Delimonte, the world's famous big game hunter from Spain or something. However, so Pedro figures out what's going on. Ty's trying to bust Steve Diamond. Steve Diamond's trying to get rid of Ty. After Pedro figures out who Steve Diamond is, because he's really a famous guy, you know, a big time hunter, he confronts Steve Diamond about it. Steve Diamond was, listen, the reason I came out here and knew to join y'all's crew, because I seen footage of you guys getting up close and very personal with Bigfoot, and so I'm out here to shoot one. You ain't gonna stop me, because if you do, the whole world will find out. I got an instant set up to where I don't check my messages at least 3 times a day. My computer automatically sends an email out to 100 newspapers, and so, you know, you blog to whatever. So bottom line is, Jack's got a dead man switch on footage of Pedro. Either I think it would make it really funny, because it's really embarrassing if Bigfoot tackles you, takes you down, and does bad things to you. But something that you would really be embarrassed is you enjoying it. So I think that either we show Pedro being a little bit too comfortable with the Bigfoot simulation of love, or we could really go over the fucking hill and show Pedro standing up, Bigfoot still laying on the ground, but we're only showing shadows on the wall, and we show Pedro jump back on top of the big furry ball in the shadow. And maybe a bony ass popping up out of the big round shadow every once in a while. But it's just a shadow. Nothing too dirty. Nothing really says what's really going on. Other than the fact that you see a shadow, you know, you see Pedro laying with Bigfoot with a little campfire scene, Bigfoot stroking his hair a little bit. Then it cuts to a scene of the fire or something, and then with the viewing of the scene of the fire, you see a shadow cast up on the wall. Obviously not Bigfoot, too small and skinny or what have you. And then you see maybe Pedro getting away, but instead of getting away, you see Pedro jump back to where he just stood up out of. Now, it's like a big ball of hay, bush, whatever. It's a Bigfoot comfy little mat, homemade mat, whatever, from the wood. But without explanation, you're only looking at shadows. You see skinny guy stand up. Don't know if Bigfoot's still there or not, but you wonder, did he trip or did he just jump back into Bigfoot's bed? How come he ain't running away? So that would be but if you get raped by Bigfoot, that's horrible and very embarrassing. Truly is. But if you enjoy it and jump back into the stack of hay, or maybe it's a big belly full of hair or something, you know, big fat shadow, you know, looks like a big hay pile or something in when you see Pedro stand up out of it the first time. But that's when, you know, she comes back. You know, we need to do like a preview scene where she goes, Jack, you remember when I came back and told you about that weird dream? I thought maybe I seen a Bigfoot, because after I had this weird dream and got dressed and got my Jeep started up, I noticed something dark moving off into the woods, and you know, it was real quiet that day, so they had to have been there the whole time. It couldn't have walked up on me, is what she says. Anyways, so she describing that to Jack is how we include the footage from that. Kind of the same thing with like we did with Parker. So she tells Jack, remember when I said this? Well, she goes, Jack, I think you know, something might have happened with Bigfoot. I think he got me pregnant. And Jack's like, laughs and you're so funny, Julia, or whatever her name might be. And she goes, but look, and she lifts up her security or park ranger uniform, or all of a sudden she's got like a navel hairline that's covering half her stomach, almost cavemanish. And he says, damn girl, you try some nair or something. Don't think much of it. But anyways, not even, you know, she looks to be maybe 2 months pregnant, or, you know, into her pregnancy thing. Well,
the first time Jack goes back to the past, he actually doesn't get that good of a hold of Bigfoot, so he kind of falls off Bigfoot as Bigfoot jumps through the wormhole. He does go through the wormhole, but instead of going all the way 17 years back to the past, he ends up going 2 days more into the future. He sees older Jack, and older Jack appears to be a little younger than the last time young Jack seen him. So he approaches old Jack slowly and says, Jack, I know you don't know me, but I met you in the future, and in all actuality, I'm you from the past. And he tries very carefully explaining, with old Jack looking dumbfounded, and says, Jack, I don't see how we're the same guy, but you didn't go back to the past, Jack. You went 2 more days into the future. I might look younger because I just shaved this morning.
well, just a couple of days later, you know, or what have you, like maybe when Jack jumps back to the past but actually lands 2 days in the future, after he runs off to catch another ride with Bigfoot to get back to the past, old Jack is visits with the park ranger girl, and she's all of a sudden now looking 5 or 6 months pregnant. And in just a matter of a couple of days, went from looking 3 months pregnant to 5 or 6 months pregnant. So he's concerned with her, takes her to the local hospital, what have you, where we got a doctor with a heavy accent says, I just seen this lady maybe not too long ago, maybe 3 months ago. She was not pregnant, or, you know, if she was just maybe barely became pregnant, not enough to notice. And the nurse, you know, goes up and whispers like a gossip girl to the doctor, said, Doctor, is this that woman is supposed to have sex with Bigfoot? He goes, what? Well, she's supposed to be pregnant with Bigfoot. He goes, oh yeah, I think that. And lifts up her gown, and big old Bigfoot sticking out of her, you know, you can't see no vaginal or nothing, but you can see her legs, you can see the dress lift up, but you can't see the vaginal because there's a big foot sticking out.
after young Jack returns to the past, we talk about how the new intern, Christopher, is in a hospital recovering, and he's supposed to be okay. We're going to return to the footage review since Santiago is on paid leave after shooting the new camera guy. So basically I'm talking to the camera by myself, returning to reviewing the footage that we started reviewing a few days ago before all the action started happening. And that's where we're at now. Jack, where you been, man?
Man, you're not gonna believe where I went. Are you filming right now?
Yeah, I'm filming.
Man, dude, you're not gonna believe where I went or who I met.
We gotta still find Pedro, man.
What?
Hey, man, you okay? Man, Bigfoot just attacked the shit out of you.
Oh, shit.
You all right? What was you about to tell me? You was about to tell me something.
I don't remember saying anything.
Are you okay?
No. Oh, man, dude, I'm fucked up. Man.
Come on, man, we gotta go find Pedro then.
Alright, well, let me tell the audience that we gotta go find Pedro and we'll be back later.
All right.
Need to pause the footage after we see what happens to Pedro, and say, well, I guess we know why this footage got hidden now. Seems Pedro had a little incident, and then we go back, resume, and it shows him running back to the camp before he says, maybe we should call Bigfoot and a half.
Well, y'all, I hope y'all stay tuned. We're gonna have to cut the film right now because we're gonna have to go find Pedro. Make sure y'all stay tuned for more Bigfoot.
Hey, man, I think we should call him Bigfoot and a half, man.
Pedro, you okay?
I don't know.
If you have any questions or comments or any ideas you'd like to throw at us to maybe improve on something, please by all means let us know. We're good to go with everything else. We just need you. We need you to play the role, do it great, make it funny, and then for you to tell all your friends, make sure everybody gets to enjoy the final product. God bless, and remember to check out Bigfoot Born to be Wild.